Yo, yo, yo. I've been, I've been, I've been. Yo, what's up, Brooks? What's up, Patrick? What's up, Julius? What's up, Real Sports fam? I am live on YouTube. We are chatting conference finals preview. Swipe up and join. Ask me questions. Let's go. One sec, guys. All right. One second. Sorry. Guys, like the video if you don't mind. Thank you. And I will get to your questions. So let's do it. So, first question: am I watching the lottery tomorrow? Obviously, I'm watching the lottery. It's an absolutely huge day for the Knicks. Here are the potential scenarios I see out. So, the Knicks have a 14% chance of getting number one pick. I don't really see it happening, honestly. I'm just going into it with a pessimistic view, but 14% isn't that high. So, they actually have 50% to get the fifth pick, so it's kind of a coin flip one if they just get the fifth pick or whatever. But this is kind of what I see for the Knicks standpoint. One, we take Zion. Number two pick, we probably take Morant. 3 and 4, and even 5 is where it gets interesting because RJ Barrett's definitely number 3. So I think 3 would be huge for a potential AD trade. So what can the Knicks give the Pelicans that will be enticing enough? Would they take RJ Barrett, Jarrett Culver at 4, Cam Reddish, or DeAndre Hunter at 5, or do they really want one of the top 2 picks? So I don't know. It's tough to say because this is what the Knicks can offer. They can offer a top 5 pick. They can offer future first round picks. So they have 7 picks for the next 5 years stocked up. They have Kevin Knox, who was a lottery pick last year. They have Frank Ntilikina, who was a lottery pick a couple years ago. They have young pieces that could be enticing. And as we know, the Pelicans want to get rid of AD. The Celtics have a better package potentially to offer than the Knicks, but are the Celtics really going to give up a Jaylen Brown or a Tatum if Kyrie walks? So it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens. Choppa J says, "You never answer me on Snap." Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I really do try to get to all of you. Make sure you send me a bunch of messages. I'll definitely catch you at some point. I can guarantee that. So to get into the conference finals preview, so I put on my Snap. I have the Bucks in 7. I really do like the Bucks in 5, but the one issue is the Bucks. The one reason I'm not as confident in 5 as I am just winning the series in general is that Kawhi can neutralize Giannis. So I think top to bottom, the Bucks are a better team. They're deeper, they play better defense, they can score better. Giannis is the best player in the league right now. But on 30 possessions this season that Kawhi guarded Giannis scored 4 points. So that's really big deal. So if Kawhi guards Giannis the whole series and continues to shut him down, that completely changes the entire series. What that will do, though, is that KD is probably better. He's just hurt right now. What that'll do, though, is it will drain Kawhi, and Kawhi just played 7 games. He just shot like 30 plus shots in game 7. He would be exhausted, and his offensive game may struggle, but it's worth it if you can kind of neutralize Giannis. So that's the complete and utter X factor. If Giannis shows he can score, not even at a crazy rate, but if Giannis shows he can score against Kawhi, I think the series is a wrap. So after game 1, we'll have a pretty good idea of where I think this series is going. Josh Saldana says, Leonard is a lockdown defender. No doubt about that. He's amazing. He really is. But so is Giannis. And good offense beats good defense. Great offense beats great defense. So like I said, after Wednesday night, we'll have a really good idea of where I think the series ends up, regardless of how unless Kawhi absolutely is shutting Giannis down. I don't really see the Raptors winning the series. Bledsoe can beat out. Bledsoe can beat out Lowry, even though he had a really good game 7. The bench for the Bucks is just as good as the bench for the Raptors. Middleton's a baller. He can guard Siakam. He can beat out Siakam. It's just going to be tough to beat the Bucks. They've been the best team all year. That's the funny thing. They won 60 games. They've been dominating people. So I expect the Bucks to advance. So I think after the semifinals that the Warriors will still win the finals or lose to the Bucks or Raptors. So that's kind of a good transition into my Western Conference pick. I have the Warriors in 5. I know that people say don't sleep on the Blazers. I know that KD's hurt, but to me, the Warriors are just a better version of the Blazers. Steph's better than Dame. No disrespect to Dame. And Clay's better than CJ. No disrespect to CJ. Just because Clay can lock up Dame or CJ, right? He's a really strong defender as opposed to the other two aren't that good of defenders. Draymond's the X factor. They're getting contributions off the bench from Looney, Quinn Cook, Jordan Bell, Iguodala. And then, honestly, even though Steve Kerr today kind of said, we're not rushing back KD. Nothing's guaranteed, but in my opinion, KD's back for Game 3 if the Warriors do drop one at home. If not, they probably sit in Game 3. If the series goes 2-1, they'll bring him back for Game 4. He has to be ready, but he should be ready by then. It's about a 7 to 10, maybe 14-day injury, and that'll have been enough time. Do I think that Seth and Steph will get into a fight? That'll be fun to watch the two brothers play. Obviously, Steph is way better, but it's really cool. I don't know if you guys have siblings. I have a little brother. They kind of know how to get under each other's skin. I'm curious if Seth will be able to pull out any of those tricks because that could be super useful. I mean, Steph is a pretty mental player, right? He's a shooter. Shooters do a lot mentally, so that would be a fun dynamic to the series for sure. So Noam asks, how much did I pay for my tickets and where are they? They are behind the basket. How much I paid will be kept private for now. I paid a lot of money, but it's kind of an investment to the fact that if we get really good players, I can sell some, I can make some money back. So it's up in the air for how that's going to go. What's up, Tyler McKay? I have been great. How have you been? Leonard or Giannis, who is better? So I'm a huge believer in that Giannis is better, but could Kawhi show? I mean, Kawhi this playoffs has been spectacular. He's scoring the ball unbelievably. Obviously, he's a great defender. Giannis, he's been awesome as well. They just have run through both series. They dropped actually game. No, that was against the Magic. They crushed the Pistons, and then after they dropped game 1 against the Celtics, they pretty much walked through them. They swept them 4 straight games. So I know the Celtics were a mess. I know Blake was out. The Pistons weren't good, but the Bucks are good, and people aren't giving them the respect they deserve. So my finals prediction for now, depending on the KD injury, is going to be Warriors over Bucks. I do think the Bucks really can take them down. I've said this all postseason. It was a big reason behind my Rockets pick was that the Warriors have been to the finals 4 straight years, right? So to get to the finals, the minimum amount of games you have to play is 16. Obviously, they didn't go undefeated in any of them. So they were playing 20-plus games per year extra in the playoffs. That's equivalent of a full season. The Warriors are tired. Their bench is thin. As you can see, KD goes down with an injury. Steph has struggled in the playoffs. Draymond can kind of be up and down, unreliable in terms of scoring. The Bucks are young. The Bucks are fresh. The Bucks play really good defense. The Bucks gave the Warriors a lot of trouble during the regular season. Could the Bucks beat the Warriors? There's not a doubt in my mind. There's been about 7 teams in the history of the NBA that did what the Bucks did this year, which was win 60 games and win by an average of 10 or more. all 6 of the prior teams won the title. So would it be shocking to see the Bucks win? No, it really shouldn't surprise anyone. Um, so I'm gonna post something to Real Sports right now. So for the 2 seconds it takes me to do that, tell me your guys' predictions for who you think are gonna make the finals. Mm, Bucks and Warriors. Mitchell Robinson was the steal of the draft, no doubt about it. Bucks in 6, Warriors in 6, Bucks and Blazers, Raptors and Cavaliers. I don't. So if you guys are picking Trailblazers, tell me why you like the Trailblazers to beat the Warriors. I don't really see, even without KD, I don't really see a scenario unless you're being a homer, like you just, it's your favorite team and you wanted to pick them. Um, but I don't understand that. So explain why you really like the Trailblazers, Sixers and Nuggets. I don't think the Sixers and Nuggets are going to make it. Will Clay Thompson resign? 1 second. Let me post this. The Blues just scored, so I got to get that on the story. And then I'm back. While you guys are here, like and subscribe to the channel. That would be much appreciated. So, anyways, do I believe in Zach LaVine with the Bulls this upcoming year? I think they will improve. I totally think the Bulls have a lot of young talent. Someone like Zion or even a Ja Morant would be huge for them. I don't know if they're looking to sign anyone free agency quite yet. They're really young. They're not quite ready. But let's say they get a low pick, which, they have a high draft pick. They bring in a young star. They have Markkanen. They have LaVine. They have a bunch of guys. And then maybe next summer they sign a free agent. The Bulls could be back sooner than later. Aiden Long says Frank Vogel is a joke. So if you guys missed it, Frank Vogel is the new head coach of the Lakers after Ty Lue passed up on the Lakers because they wouldn't give him a 5-year deal. Vogel did not have great seasons in his past couple as head coach, and it's actually a pretty precarious situation that they're putting him in because they put Jason Kidd right under him, and people are speculating that Kidd is going to be the eventual head coach. It's going to put a ton of pressure on Vogel. So, I mean, the Lakers are just a dumpster fire right now. It's really getting ugly in LA. I don't know what's happened to that organization. LeBron brought kind of a clown show, kind of a circus to LA, and it just hasn't panned out how they've expected. Listen, it's been 1 year. They were fourth in the West before he got hurt with an injury. It's very early, but nowadays on social media, it's overblown and it's a huge deal. So we'll have to see. This offseason is huge for them. Can they pull off an AD trade? Can they get a big free agent like Clay? Or I doubt Kawhi goes there. I see him staying in Toronto right now. So Trent asks, who do I think is a better backcourt duo, Stephen Clay or CJ and Dame? It's Stephen Clay to me, without a doubt. I actually think based off CJ's playing Game 7 and Dame's play this postseason, they're closing the gap, especially because I think CJ could be getting near Clay territory, but I'd take Steph over Dame and Clay over CJ any day. But they and that's a big part because Clay is a really good defender. Um, let's see. If LeBron goes to the Celtics with Kyrie, the Lakers would never trade their best player to the Celtics for because of the rivalry. The Damian Lillard choke. It's not about choking. Like Lillard's shown he performs in the clutch, so I definitely wouldn't consider anything choking. He just didn't play a great Game 7. Thankfully, he has an amazing teammate, McCollum, who bailed him out in a way. But I don't know. The Blazers deserve that series. Both teams played great. It is what it is. It was a really fun series. Do I think Nikola Jokic needs help? So the Nuggets are a really interesting team this summer, right? Because hypothetically, if KD leaves and goes to the East, right, the Warriors kind of drop down a level. The Nuggets were two in the West. They're a few points away from making the Western Conference Finals. The Rockets can't seem to put it together. So what do the Nuggets do? They restructure Millsap. Maybe they even let him walk, and they bring in a big free agent. They bring back Michael Porter Jr., who got cleared today. I actually didn't put that on my story. I probably should have. But Michael Porter Jr., obviously highly touted recruit out of high school, went to Missouri, kind of dealt with injuries, has dealt with injuries in the league so far, but he should be fully healthy for next year. So their young team is only going to grow and should get better. So I'm kind of high on the Nuggets. Jokic is a really good player. Um, they just needed their best guys to come up more clutch. Murray was kind of up and down this offseason. Barton, Monty Moore, like they just didn't get the full contributions that you need to really make it deep in the playoffs. Jason says, "What do I bench? I don't really bench. If you've seen on my story, I've been working out. I do boxing classes, so I really enjoy those. Not actually fighting anyone because I can't get hit, but yeah." Who won MVP? This is actually I've said it before. I have Giannis as my season MVP, but the Finals MVP is pretty interesting. So Steph, as we know, has never won a Finals MVP, even though he's a two-time regular season MVP. It was Iguodala the one year they won without KD, and KD has won it twice since with the Warriors. So if they win, can Steph get one? Will KD once again be the most dominant player in the finals? Um, and then outside of that narrative, it's pretty obvious as to who would win finals MVP for each other team. Kawhi would have to play well enough for the Raptors to win, so he would probably win. Same thing for Giannis, same thing for Dame. So you kind of have those, but you do have the fun narrative of who's your finals MVP on the Warriors. Obviously, the NBA wants to give it to Steph. The Warriors fans want Steph to win it. It kind of completes his legacy of greatest shooter, unanimous MVP. It would give him his fourth title, but he needs that one Finals MVP. So that'll be a cool thing to look forward to. What do you see the Pelicans doing to Anthony Davis? So to me, they have three options, and these are their options. Number one is make a trade with the Celtics, and if they can get Jaylen Brown or Tatum and a high pick, they pull that trigger. So that would be option one. Option two would be a deal with the Knicks. So if the Knicks don't get the number one pick, I think they're willing to trade. So let's say they get number 2, 3, 4, or 5. I think that pick plus a future first rounder plus Frank and Kevin Knox. And I think that's a pretty good deal for them. And then option three would be a deal with the Lakers. So obviously the Lakers tried last season. It was a bit of a disaster, but it just depends who the Lakers want to give up. Do they want to give up Lonzo? Do they want to give up Kuzma? Do they Josh Hart I would let go of. I would let go of any picks they want. But I don't know. Brandon Ingram, like this is the problem with the Lakers. Their assets are like they could be good, but do the Pelicans really want them? And then they also could be good. Do the Lakers really want to trade them for someone who's been pretty injury prone? So that's why the Lakers are definitely in conversations with the Pelicans, but that's why they didn't work out a deal. Um, do I think Vince Carter will win one more ring? I do not. He has made it very clear that, by the way, he's never won a ring, but he's made it clear he doesn't want a ring chase. He doesn't want to go play for a team like the Warriors or the Bucks just to be on the team. He's just playing out his time in the league. He's playing big minutes for the Hawks last year, who I would expect him to be back on the team. And he's decent, and he's just playing until he can't play anymore. Guys, while you're here, make sure to like this video. That'll really help me out. Thank you. And subscribe to the channel because I do this a lot, and you'll get some notifications, and we have some fun in here. Oh, let me stop you guys. One thing I want to say is, so I promise you if the Warriors beat the Rockets because I picked the Rockets that I would do a giveaway. I was deciding between Real Sports phone cases or AirPods. I said I would give away one pair, but I'm actually going to be giving away two pairs, okay? Because you guys are the best. So, how to enter, I've put in my story. All you have to do is go to my story, swipe up, hit the link on the Real Sports giveaway post, and join any Playline contest. If you join, I'll get an email that you joined, and that's how I'm gonna pick the winner. So if you join any contest that'll be available from tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday, tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then starting Thursday, I'm gonna give away the second pair of AirPods. So that's just something to look out for. Definitely do that. If you have any questions about it, put it in the chat or hit me up on Instagram or Snap, whatever. So back to the questions. Yeah, no problem, Aiden. Is Kevin Knox a bust? No, that's way too early to say that Kevin Knox is a bust. He actually, over his final about 18 to 20 games, he made a huge jump in his shooting percentages. He really started to kind of come together. He struggled early, but a lot of rookies do. Like, because of Trae Young and Luka's success this year, it kind of gave a recency bias to rookies, right? So let's look at the rookie class the year before. Well, I guess Ben and Donovan were pretty good. But my point is you normally have one, two, three, four max rookies who are really good. They're starters on their team. They're really helpful to their team. But normally not that many. Like De'Aaron Fox wasn't good in his first year. I'm trying to think of other rookies who weren't great their first year. So I think Knox, he showed improvement over the end of the year, which is important because that shows his potential. That shows that he was really working on his game. So Kevin Knox is definitely not a bust in my book yet. Let's talk football. Ask a really interesting question. Do I think the break from the postseason was good or bad from LeBron? Obviously, LeBron is an all-world player, superstar. He wants to be in the playoffs. So he wants to be here. But I think it's great for LeBron. He's been to 14 straight playoffs. He's gone to 8 straight finals. He's absolutely gassed. And for the first time ever, we saw him get hurt and have an extended injury. And whether it's the old age or it's just due to too many minutes on his body, I think it's great. It's his first summer since he was pretty much in high school that he's had time off. So I think it'll be super helpful for him to get his body right, get his mind right, kind of have that relaxation, and hopefully come back with a better team after the summer and compete in the Western Conference. Will Westbrook win a championship with the Thunder? I do not see that happening. It's really tough. He just, whatever it is, it seems like his game doesn't quite mesh with a championship type style. So if I was a betting man, I would say no. Mikey Childre says, do I watch Dunk League on YouTube? I have obviously seen Dunk League before. When I worked for Whistle Sports, when I was in college, we worked close with the Dunk League, so I'm very familiar with it. I have not watched it recently, but I have seen it before. Is Kyrie hurting the Celtics? That's an interesting question because we heard mixed things out of the locker room after their series loss to the Bucks. I'm still a believer that just stuff never really worked out there this season, that it wasn't Kyrie that was the problem. There was too much talent, and Brad Stevens really never figured out how to balance not only the talent and how to play together, but also the personalities in the locker room. Which led to some pretty piss poor results by their standards. XP the First says, talk about Game of Thrones real quick. I do not want to spoil anything for anyone who has not seen it before, so I will not say anything. We can kind of talk about that later in the week. Jason Schlitz says, best sports story on Snap. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do I think Portland has a chance of winning the finals? I do not. I don't see them getting back or getting by Golden State really under any situation unless it's like a Clay or Steph injury. Itchy Biscuits says, "How do I think the Spurs are going to do next year with DeJounte Murray coming back?" Um, the Spurs seem to be in a tough spot. They have DeRozan, who's kind of in this day and age not that efficient of a scorer. They have Aldridge, who's just getting old. Pop only has a couple years left, so their window is definitely running out, and they don't really have the talent to compete for a championship right now. So, and they don't have the cap space to sign anyone. So, unfortunately, it seems like the Spurs at best will be a conference semifinals team over the next couple of years. And then DeRozan will walk, Pop will retire, Aldridge will probably go somewhere else, and they'll have to start a full rebuild. Alex Barstow says, "Do I think Giannis will win a championship in Milwaukee?" I could definitely see him winning one. He's only going to get better. He hasn't even fully worked on his jumper. He's entering his prime right now. It's just that question to me is, do I think Giannis will stay in Milwaukee, right? Because I think in his career, Giannis gets a ring. Um, and so it just comes down to, can they not only surround him with the pieces, but is he satisfied with being in the market of Milwaukee where ad dollars are lower? It's not like really a spot that a lot of big free agents want to go to. So I don't know. It's tough. Yes, Jason, the viewers of the live stream are the real MVPs, but the real MVPs are those who subscribe because then they're here every time, no to get. Can I name the top 10 players? Okay, this should be fun. In no particular order. I'm just gonna name the top 10 players in the league. So LeBron, KD, Steph, Giannis, Harden, and then this is where it gets tricky to me. I'd probably go Dame. Paul George is in there, so that's 7. Kawhi is 8. Um, no, Kyrie's not my top 10. Neither is Westbrook. I would say AD, when healthy, he makes my list. It's tough to put him in there, but he is a top 10 player to me. So that's 9. Don't say Lonzo and Clay. And so I'll actually knock out AD because he's been injured, and I'll replace them with Embiid and Jokic. So that is 10. So to review, LeBron, KD, Kawhi, Giannis, Harden, Steph, uh, Dame, Paul George, Jokic, Embiid. So that would be my 10 top players in the league right now. Yeah, let's get to 1,000 subs, fam. Let's see how many we're at. 978. We need 22 more to go. Yes, I got the email. I will definitely work on my YouTube channel. Thank you, Patrick. Do I think Jokic is the next LeBron? Wyatt, I'll never give up one snap. Don't worry. No, I don't think Jokic is the next LeBron really at all. Very different players. Jokic has the athleticism of a slug, and LeBron has the athleticism that we've never seen in the league ever before. So definitely not comparable in that sense. As passers, yes, really good passers, both of them for big men. If you see this, then you know you got the best account on Snap. Thank you, Dalton. I appreciate that. Logan Williams says, "Do I like the Colts and/or Seahawks or just the Ravens?" I'm just a Ravens fan. I'm sorry. I'm loyal to my birds. Patrick, I love you too. So this is actually a really good comment from Asher Zishan. Clippers are winning all next year. So are the Clippers winning all next year? Obviously, it's tough to predict. But what did they do this year? They took the best team in the West to 6 games. They took the Warriors to 6, and they were supposed to be in a rebuild. They kind of just had Lou Will, who would score for them, and they played as a strong team. But what happens if Kawhi goes there in free agency? Then it's a completely different story. And all these hypotheticals for next year, you have to keep in mind that I'm banking on KD moving to the East. So that's a significant drop off for the Warriors. So add Kawhi, take away KD. Do the Clippers beat the Warriors? Potentially. So I don't know if they're going to win it all because I think a team in the East might be better than them. But I could definitely see the Clippers being a very serious contender next season. Jamie says, when did I start on Snap? I started in October of last year, which is about 18 months. Does Devin Booker have a chance to win a ring? He's an elite scorer, but he's really young, and it's tough to predict how his career is going to kind of play out. He doesn't seem to be like a facilitator for others. Could he be like an upgraded Clay, where he's on a team with like a Paul George or LeBron or really anyone who's better at sharing the ball? Sure. I mean, he would be a great championship piece. What's up, Mobilized? Zion to the Suns, potentially. Apparently, they might draft Morant if they get the number 1 pick. I think that would be a mistake, but we kind of would have to see that play out. Do you think the Celtics are better with or without Kyrie? I think they're definitely better. I think they're going to lose him, though, so it doesn't really matter. Harden MVP? I don't think so. Do I think some of my friends are hanging with me because I'm famous? Nope, I never have to worry about that. Bucks in 5, Trailblazers in 7. Like I said, I really don't see the Trailblazers winning that series. Clay Milwaukee. Clay could only go to Milwaukee if the Bucks opted not to sign Middleton, which I don't think they'll do. I think they'll keep Middleton and Giannis together. It'll kind of be, they're us against the world kind of mindset. No one believes that we can win a championship in Milwaukee, but they want to prove that they can. Dunk contest pick. I can't really make a pick because I don't know the contestants yet, but I know if Zion competes in it, that will be awesome. Because no matter how he plays as a rookie, he will be able to dunk the ball. We've seen his hop, so that would be sick. Kyrie to the Knicks, that would be spectacular with Kevin Durant. If you wanted to get AD and you were the Lakers, what is your offer? That's a really good question. My offer would be, their lottery pick this year, a first rounder next year. I would give up Kuzma, and it feels early to bail on Lonzo. Would Josh Hart, Kuzma, and 2 first rounders get it done? I don't think so. The Pelicans were asking for a lot for him, and I just think the Knicks and Celtics can make better offers. So, do you give up Ingram and keep Kuzma? I don't know. It's tough. 5 seconds left. Down 2. Who are you giving the ball to? KD or Lillard? That would be KD for me. Michaela says you should do an actual giveaway. If you are new to the page, or if you're not, you know that all my giveaways are really legit, and that unlike other fake pages, I actually give stuff away. I always post the winner with their stuff, so they are actual giveaways. Jimmy Butler does need more props. He played great this postseason, kept Philly in a bunch of games. I think he's going to re-sign there. Why would I ban Rigo? Rigo, just stop being annoying. Thank you. I'll put him in timeout. I should vlog. Interesting. What do I think about Katie's injury? Katie's injury is not good. It's kind of a muscle, which it's just time dependent on when he gets better. I think that if he's not at full strength, can the Bucks take down the Warriors? I really do. I like this question. Who is it from? Dave John says most underrated player in the 19 draft. So that's a really good question. Let me look at who they have in their mock drafts. Kind of different people. Excuse me. Let's see where they have some certain people who I like in the draft. So first of all, shout out Jackson Hayes from Texas, young kid, freshman, went to UT Hookham. Tyler Hero. Bo probably is being underrated right now. He could have been a top five pick if he hadn't gotten hurt before the year. So having him projected to the Nets at 17 is, I mean, that's pretty wild. Not a big fan of Grant Williams in the pros. I think he's a bit undersized. Bruno Fernando from Maryland to the Warriors would be absolutely wild because he's a monster down low. Um, who else do we like in this draft? Cam Johnson really shot the ball well at Carolina. He's a long-term college kid who I think pans out. Says one scout. He's 6'9", shoots the heck out of the ball. So I love that. That's Paul George, Carmelo height, and with their shooting ability. Honestly, this isn't really a sleeper, but Ja Morant at 2, I think he could be the best player in the draft. So um, did we hit 1K, Parker? Let me check. Let's check. Oh, we're so close. We need 5 subscribers. We need 5. Come on, 5 people, subscribe. Let's unsubscribe. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate that. So I will say, stop it. So yeah, so I thought this was fun. We went about 35 minutes, gave some good insights, good Q&A. Like I said, always subscribe to the channel, join the giveaways, hit me up on Snap, do whatever. It's all for you guys. Let's talk soon. Have a great night, Real Sports fam. Yeah, peace, boys and girls.